Welcome to Extraterrestrial Reality. This past weekend, a TikTok video, appeared on Reddit, and somebody posted it on Reddit, and the headline for this was "Major Video Evidence." Now, a lot of people have been talking about this on different YouTube channels, on the internet, on Twitter. It's been a big deal the last couple of days, and some people have pointed out how this object that was filmed recently in Colombia, in South America, looks very much like the same type of craft that was filmed in Turkey by a Turkish fisherman over the Black Sea on several occasions. There was a lot of video, and I'll leave a link to that channel, and you can check that video out, of course. In 2007, 2008, and 2009. The Turkish video, by the way, no matter how much the debunkers want to, kick and scream, it was looked at by experts from 4 different countries, and it was determined that it was authentic. And not only was what was captured on that Turkish video, not only was there a craft hovering over the ocean, right, over the Black Sea, but there was also, when you look at the images close-ups, you could see actual alien beings. It looks like grays in some of the images. You can see grays and also a praying mantis being. And actually, in one of the images, you could also see looks like what's like a person in a prone position. It looks like a human, possibly an abductee. Just like the abductees always say that they get abducted by these beings, and these gray aliens manipulate them and do things with them. And in the background, there's a praying mantis standing there, overseeing the whole thing. Well, now this latest video here that you're watching right here, actually, I actually went through it. And I actually paused. I took some frames from this, and you're going to see that there's actually beings in this. There are actual beings, you could see here in this video. If you put it on the very, very first frame, this is from the very first frame, and what it looks like here to me, what you're seeing here are, it could be 2, what I would say are extraterrestrials standing above what looks like a person in a prone position, again, just like in the Turkey videos. You can see the person is basically, the head is, it's not laying left to right. It's more like the person who's laying there in front of these 2 beings, right? It looks like the person is, if you go from the northwest to southeast, that's the position that the person is laying in, as you can see there. And then you can see there's a being standing behind this person, and to the right of this person, and you can see actually you can see the being is it's a profile of this thing. You can see one of its eyes, and then here in the next image, you can see this is a few frames later. It looks like they may have moved a little bit. And if you go deeper into this little short video, this is the next picture, and you can see one of the beings is facing directly toward the camera, right? And the other being is in the background. And now there seems to be some sort of a cross-like object hovering over the chest of the person who's laying there in a prone position. Now, we don't know a lot about this video yet. And I'm sure a lot more will come out about it as the days go on and the weeks go on and the months go on. I think this is something that needs to be looked at by scientists. I think that we need to have some video experts in here to look at this, to break it down, to determine what happened here. Well, who is this person that filmed it? Let's talk to him. Maybe, I don't know if he wants to stay on the record or off the record, but, find out, if this is a hoax. It's a pretty elaborate one. Now, the way he filmed this, basically he had some sort of a really good camera that had a telescopic lens on it, and he was pointing it over a building at some light that was up in the sky, as you can see in this video, as we look at this video. And he actually filmed with his cell phone what that telescopic lens was capturing on that little video monitor. Now, if you look at the video monitor, you can see that it doesn't look like there's it's playing something like he recorded this before, and now it's playing something. It doesn't look like there's no record. If it was recording, you would see like a red light flashing. That was actually something that was pointed out by the channel Secure Team 10. This to me needs to be investigated, and we were talking about things out there that need to be investigated. If this is a hoax, it's a very, very elaborate hoax. I mean, actually, this person went through a lot of trouble. If this is a hoax, this person went through a lot of trouble, not only to hoax the UFO, but again, I mean, when you're zooming in on this, you could see actual beings. You could see the figures. I mean, now of course it's blurry and it's hard to see, and I'm sure maybe there's somebody out there has better equipment than I got at home. I mean, I really don't have a lot that I could work with. I'm basically just zooming in on my editing program, my video editing program here, and capturing the picture. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that could try to deblur this to give us a better, people who have better equipment than I have. But this is something that needs to be looked into. We talk about all the time about, coming up with proof. Well, here is some more proof. I mean, I would think, it needs to be looked at. We need to find out when and where this was filmed exactly. And more information needs to be gathered about it. I mean, is there more evidence? Is this all that this guy was able to capture? Does he maybe have more stuff? But again, if this is a hoax, it's a very elaborate one. I mean, you can't see. It's really hard as you go through this video and you pause it and you try to see the beings. It's really hard. I found a few good frames, and I'm just putting up the 3 of them here now. Now, of course, if we can go through them again here, like you see the first one. I mean, it looks again like there's 2 beings. You can see the outlines barely. You can see the eye of the one, and it looks like what could be a human being. In a prone position, laying down as these 2 beings are doing something, manipulating this person. I don't know. It could be a female. It's not sure. It looks like in this first image, it might actually be a female because it looks like that could be a breast. I'm not sure though, because if you look at a few frames later, the other frame that I had captured there, if you in the close-up view, you could see it looks like now there's this cross-like object hovering over this person. And now that the being that was to the right on this picture is facing the camera. And again, this is very, very similar. This looks very similar to the Turkey UFO footage from over 10 years ago now. It's hard to believe. I remember when that first came out. But I mean, the Turkey UFO footage. Now, again, not only was there 4 experts from 4 countries who verified that footage, there was also a group of ufologists, including the late Dr. Roger Lear, who actually went there actually in 2009 to one of these events, and actually with their own eyes, and Roger Lear testified to this, right? Actually saw this object floating out there, and in some of the video you could see it looks like there's a hatch open on the top, or it's you could see through it. Maybe it's a clear thing. I mean, maybe it's a translucent dome. I mean, who knows what's on top of this thing? But you could see through it for whatever reason. And you could see beings in there, and looks like, in some of the still images that were captured, it looks like they're manipulating a person in a prone position. And here, now we have this again, all these years later, captured allegedly in South America, in Colombia. And I think this is something that very much needs to be investigated. This is stunning. Because put it this way: if this is a hoax of some sort, it's a very elaborate one, a very elaborate hoax. I just don't know about that. I don't know about that. Because listen, I mean, if this is a hoax, this person went through a lot of trouble. I mean, not only did he set, like, the way he did this actually lends it credence. I mean, it gives it an air of believability. Because, I mean, he filmed a camera. I mean, yeah, I would rather have seen the actual, I'd like to see that video if there was a way if he would have filmed using that the camera that he had, that Canon or whatever it was, connected to the scope, I would have rather see something like that. But apparently he didn't record using that. He was using, his cell phone apparently. But again, this is very, very interesting footage, and it needs to be investigated by the scientific community. I think we need a lot of answers. I mean, we need to find out, okay, who is this person exactly? When was this thing filmed? And then it needs the footage needs to be verified. Is it real? If is it a hoax? If it's a hoax, again, it looks very much like the turkey footage. I mean, right now I would say that it's not a hoax. Because again, if it is, then this person really went all out. They include little beings in there. And I just don't know about that. And those beings look like they're moving around and doing stuff. I mean, based on those different frames you're looking at there. In these different frames, these beings are moving around and doing different things. They're doing things. It looks like, again, there's a person that's laying down in a prone position, very similar to that turkey UFO. And in this one frame, you could actually see some sort of an object floating above this person's chest. And the thing about it is if you read UFO literature, if you've studied this over the years, you know that a lot of weird things happen to abductees. There's all sorts of weird instruments that these beings pull out and use on these people that they abduct. And here, this could be one. I mean, I'm sure if there's some abductees out there, they might be able to attest to this thing. But again, if this is a hoax, it's very elaborate because you could see beings when you zoom in on these images. So where's the scientific community? The scientific community needs to do something about this. They need to look into this one. This is one that needs to be looked into. Let's determine. Okay, first let's determine if it's a hoax or not. Okay, if it's not a hoax, okay, then you take it to another level. Then, okay, this is very similar. Then you say, okay, we have this footage from 2007, 2008, 2009 that's showing the same kind of thing, right? So what does this mean? Does this actually, would this finally constitute proof to what people have been saying for decades? People who have been abducted by these things, people who have talked about it, and everyone else is calling them crazy. But here you go again. If this turns out to be legitimate, this just, and you stack it up against the other stuff from Turkey from 07, 08, and 09, then the conversation has to go into a new direction then, doesn't it? Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. I hope that there's going to be people that look into this and study this and come up with some more answers. We need we need to find out the person who filmed this. We need to get statements. People need to talk to investigators. People who have money to investigate these things need to talk to this person. Find out where this was filmed exactly. Find you need to do these things. You need to interview this person. The footage needs to be looked at. It needs to be verified. And then it needs to be compared to the turkey footage if it is verified, and then the conversation expands. Then okay, here we go. Okay, if it's real, then that means yes, in fact, there are beings just like these abductees have claimed for years here doing something. What they're up to, we don't know exactly, but it proves something, right? It would prove something.